Hey there folks, Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to experience Blueberry Hills. Of course, the food is fabulous, like our cheese splints, our famous French dip, our legendary Eggs Benedict, and unforgettable burgers. But we're more than just great food. People come from all over the world to experience what's been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
Hi, I'm Bliss Littler, General Manager of the Wenatchee.
Greetings, television family. I am back. Yeah, I had a nice week off. Thanks to Grant Olson for filling in for me on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, but now it's back to whatever it is that I do, and I've been gone for a week, so bear with me. I may make 7 or 8 or 12 or 30 mistakes throughout the course of the morning, but that's, if you watch this show, you know that's part and parcel. That's what we do around here. Monday, 24th day of July, 2023. I'm Dan Kuntz, and here we go. Going to be windy today, considerably cooler. Red flag warning is out there. That recipe for any fires that may be hidden. There could be some quiet fires out there that nobody knows about because they're not kicking up and making a fuss, but that could happen today. Anything that gets going is going to happen today because it's going to be breezy this morning and then downright windy this afternoon. There's a red flag warning for most of eastern Washington. It's all that recipe, you know what it is. Warm temperatures, low relative humidity, going to be down into the teens this afternoon, and gusty winds. We could see gusts around 40 miles an hour here. Cold fronts coming in, going to last today, most of tomorrow, and then a gradual warm up after what's been a very warm weekend. All those details are coming up, plus news. In sports, Apple Sox continue to play just red-hot baseball. They are looking good. If you haven't been out in Paul Thomas Senior Stadium to check out the Apple Sox, you got to do it. Look like the Mariners were going to finally sweep a series. They have not swept a series, either a 4-game series or even a 3-game series, since back in May. Had their chance yesterday against the Blue Jays. It was one of those deals where there were more Blue Jays fans in the stands than Mariner fans at T-Mobile Park. Blue Jays won the fourth and final game of that series. We'll have highlights of that and everything else we need. And again, bear with me. I'm trying to remember what the heck it is I do for a living. It's good to be back, and thanks again for Grant for filling in for me. I appreciate it. It is 70 degrees here in the big city. Let's do our tour. We begin, of course, with the cross camera. 94 was our high yesterday. We're going to be a lot cooler than that today by a good 6-7 degrees. Even cooler than that on Tuesday before we start warming up. The days are getting a little bit shorter. Sunrise this morning was at 5:29. Sunset tonight 8:45. 15 hours and 16 minutes of daylight. And of course, at the very first day of summer, we were almost 16 hours. We had like 15 hours and 59 minutes of daylight. So we've lost a little over half an hour of daylight since the first day of summer, which was over a month ago, but it's still a lot of summer to go. Let's head up to Lake Wenatchee. Let's see if we can see the fishermen up there. It is, I believe, the sockeye season began this morning. They say there's enough for you anglers to head on out and do it. Can't see them. Normally they go all the way up to the very top where the little Wenatchee empties in, and that's where the fish are hanging around. I can't see them from there, but that is a gorgeous view. And those clouds that you see up there are heading our way. There's very few clouds here in the valley, but you'll notice some clouds to increase as the day progresses. That's what's heading our way, and it's a bit windy up there. The Appalachians camera overlooking Cashmere shows us that. Good morning to Cashmere. Beautiful day up there. Have not played the golf course at Cashmere yet this year. I should get up there. I have not played much golf at all this year. And boy, the way I played Monday at our family golf tournament, it certainly proved that I hadn't played golf much this year. I stank up the joint a week ago. Oh well, at least I didn't lose any golf ball. Well, I did lose a golf ball or 2 or 4. And finally, the Omi Gardens camera. Good morning, all baked up. Look how baked up we are. out there. All the hills are bone dry, and this is what we're talking about. Gusty winds, dry conditions means we could see a very active day. If anything gets going, especially this afternoon, it could really take off. Gusts are going to be quite strong this afternoon. In fact, we do have a red flag warning for most of our area. Take a look. You know the recipe by now. I was just talking about it. Windy conditions, bone dry humidities. Humidities will be dropping down into the teens. And temperatures, although cooler than yesterday, are still going to be up there a ways. Everybody's going to be dealing with some wind. The Okanagan Valley, the Columbia Basin, the Wenatchee area, certainly Waterville. So take a look at that green or pink blotch on your left side of your screen. That's your red flag warning for the day today. It should expire sometime tomorrow. It won't be quite as windy Tuesday as we're going to see today. So from the National Weather Service, it looks something like this. After a day of 94 yesterday, cooler, 85. The clouds will be increasing as the day progresses. Breezy in the morning, downright windy this afternoon. And here in the Wenatchee Valley, the occasional gust at 40 miles an hour is not out of the question. Partly cloudy tonight, about 58, 59 for the overnight low. Winds will be gradually decreasing overnight tonight, and then it picks back up again a little bit on Tuesday. The winds will finally be dying down for the most part Tuesday night into Wednesday, and then we start the warming process. By the time we get to Thursday, after 3 days of below normal temperatures, our normal high this time of the year is 90s. We'll be below normal today, certainly on Tuesday, a little bit warmer Wednesday, and then we start the warming process again. Big dome of high pressure. The Pacific coast is going to slide in and it's going to center itself over Washington State, and here we go. We'll be cooking again just in time for the weekend. I don't think my air conditioner has been off, and I mean off, for about a month. It's actually not a good thing, is it? Anyway, get ready for some breezy conditions today, downright windy at times this afternoon, and that wind will stick around with us as the cold front comes through for the next 2.5 days, and then we start warming up on Thursday. That's the weather at 6 minutes after the hour. Going to take a break, then we'll have your headlines. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
I chose a career at Kuntz South because I wanted to help people, and I knew there would be opportunities for growth. I started as a medical assistant, but quickly advanced in my career. I received 5 promotions in only 7 years, 3 of those in management roles. Most organizations don't offer that type of growth. Now, as a career pathway coordinator, I let everyone know. Come join Kuntz South. Come grow with us.
Hit the open roads this summer with Click It RV Superstore in Moses Lake during the Great American Sales Event. The best brands, Grand Design, Flagstaff, Thor, SMC trailers, and more. Over 1,000 RVs. Payments as low as $240 per month. $240 down. 0 payments until 2024. Up to $4,000 over JD Power for your trade-in. Plus, get a Traeger grill and Yeti cooler with purchase during the Great American Sales Event. Now at the Click It RV Superstore in Moses Lake, off I-90 on North Frontage. Hurry in today.
Pybus Public Market is on the move to make parking, dining, shopping, and events an even better experience for our community. Check out the progress that has already been made towards the revitalization. The Westside project is well on its way, but we need your help to get over the finish line. All donations are greatly appreciated and can be made online at our website or in person at the business office. We want to thank those who have already partnered with us. You are helping make the place we love a better place for our community to meet.
Lean back and enjoy the summer savings at Boswell's. Right now, get a $100 instant rebate for every $1,000 you spend on any qualifying stressless seating. The more you spend, the more you can save instantly. So furnish an entire room with the most comfortable seating in the world and watch the savings add up. Shop Boswell's, 2915 Easy Street in Wenatchee.
70 degrees. It is a tad breezy here in the Wenatchee Valley. It's going to be downright windy this afternoon. Fairly critical fire weather. We'll keep a very close eye on what Mother Nature has in store for us. Breezy today, considerably cooler. But again, any fires that get going could really get going this afternoon and tonight. 8 minutes after the hour. Speaking of fire investigators say an outdoor fire next to a North Miller Street electrical supply company may have been arson, and they're offering a $10,000 reward for information. The Wenatchee Valley Fire Department says the fire was reported about 1:30 in the morning on Saturday. Witnesses saw smoke and flames rising in the 1400 block of North Miller Street. That's near the Quality Inn. Now, the source turned out to be a pile of packing debris, including several wooden pallets that were burning against the eastern outside wall of North Coast Electric's warehouse. The fire was burning directly against the wall and up to the roof line of the building. That's when crews arrived and they extinguished it. There was no damage to the interior of the warehouse, according to fire officials. Now, investigators deemed the fire suspicious, and they say a reward of up to $10,000 for credible information is being offered. No suspects were located in the vicinity after Wenatchee police searched that area. The Chelan County Courthouse is closing in on their completed single point of entry for all county offices. This has been going on for quite some time. This week, if you have business with the county, you will not be able to enter from Washington Street. The concrete walkway there is being dug out, so instead, if you have business at the courthouse, you're being asked to enter from the Memorial Park side of the courthouse. The county has been working to create one entry with security to get into the complex. That includes the courtrooms, the assessor's office, and other county services. Officials expect the entry point to be fully opened by next month. It's expected to cost about $1.5 million. I had to drive through this on my way to vacation. Construction work at the Big Y interchange, the Don Sen Memorial Bridge. Well, more of that's going to last this week. The Washington State Department of Transportation said crews resurfacing the bridge area at the Don Sen Memorial interchange discovered a damaged bridge joint in the process, and that will require that the project, which began back on July 13th, to continue to run through at least this Friday. If you're driving through there, it's a 35-mile-an-hour speed zone around that intersection of Highway 2 and Highway 97. Traffic control is in place 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so you can't expect delays during peak travel times. A Malaga woman is charged with child abuse after allegedly that led to a 2-month-old baby suffering a broken leg. Chelan County prosecutors filed 1 count Thursday of second-degree assault of a child against 29-year-old Deanna Rochelle Cardenas. Sheriff's deputies say they were called to Confluence Health back in May after the parents brought the child in for treatment of a broken leg as well as fractured ribs consistent with child abuse. Prosecutors charged Cardenas by summons on Thursday. She must appear in court on August 8th. By the way, the baby was taken into protective custody. Lawyers for the city of Wenatchee says their case against Grace City Church for alleged noise violation should be allowed to go forward despite paperwork problems with the original citation. The Sunny Slope Church has been the subject of frequent noise complaints from neighbors for its amplified outdoor events and festivals, and they face a possible $500 fine. Well, last week, lawyers for the church said a missing date on the original citation from March of last year means that the case should be thrown out. Well, in new filings last week, Assistant City Attorney Brendan Rochford says the lack of a date doesn't make the case invalid. Chelan County District Court Judge John Volan must issue a decision on that matter. It's almost time to wrap up the lessons this summer for elementary school students who are participating in the Wenatchee School District's Migrant Summer School program. The students from around the district have been attending classes at Columbia Elementary, learning about national parks through guided language acquisition design, or GLAD, and they will finish their 4 weeks next Thursday, or this Thursday, I should say. The half days are filled with hands-on learning, chats to the tune of Baby Shark, and field trips to places like Omi Gardens and Lincoln Park every Thursday to finish the week. NCW Life joined in on some morning lessons last week and spoke with teacher Addison Govia and Elizabeth Orozco, who discussed the benefits of the program to the students.
In this agricultural community, we rely so heavily on migrant workers, and so I just think that it's a great opportunity for those kids who their families have busy summers to get to come to summer school every day and get to engage in these really fun academic experiences. Summer school is so different than a regular traditional learning environment, and it really is fun. It kind of almost feels like summer camp sometimes when we're together, because it's super hands-on. We do a lot of fun things. We go on a lot of fun field trips. So I just think it's a great option for those families during a busy season to get to participate in a program like this. We partner with the North Central ESD, and they do a GLAD unit. So GLAD stands for Guided Language Acquisition Design. This unit is based around the national parks. So throughout the 4 weeks, we study 4 very vastly different national parks. And it's super cool. It's a really in-depth, hands-on curriculum. And kids really become an expert in those national parks throughout the 4 weeks.
There's chants, which are very fun. The kids will remember those chants forever. We remember those chants. And the chants are embedded with rich knowledge about the national parks that we are talking about weekly. At the moment, we are visiting Carlsbad Caverns National Park, which for myself, I have learned so much. Also, we have pictorials of the different it's a focus for kids to just kind of dive in, just like a little overview of what you can find there, and facts and wildlife and things like that. So the kids are fascinated. I am fascinated. I love GLAD. Some of the kids, you normally just stay home and do nothing, you know, and to come here and to hear them, I don't know if you hear them saying, but they're like, I love coming to school in summer. Yeah. It's like, yes, I am doing what I, was meant to do for these kids, I want them to come every day, and then culminating every Thursday with our field trips. It's like, yes, we made it, we learned, we digested, and now we're gonna go on an adventure. And they love the adventures, and they love to make those connections when we go out there. They're like, oh my gosh, look at this, look at this. I'm like, yep, you got it.
And it really just sets them up even better for the next school year to come. They're really it makes them have a really positive view on school, I think, with how much fun that we have. And so they're excited to start their next year of school. And as a teacher, that's really what you want, right? You want your kids to be excited to be here and excited to learn. So yeah, it's really fantastic.
And finally, from the I think I'm in the wrong line of work department, I'd rather do this for a living, snorkeling on the upper Wenatchee River. Yeah, staffers at the Leavenworth National Fish Hatchery took part in a snorkel survey training not long ago. They get in the water and they took a look around. It's one method that fish managers use to monitor salmon populations as they enter and exit the spawning areas on the upper Wenatchee River. The hatchery says training like these are designed to improve accuracy and precision when fish biologists conduct their underwater data collection. Plus, it's nice and cool when the weather gets hot. That's the news at 16 minutes after the hour. We'll be right back at it again with the news tonight. Jefferson Robbins filling in for the vacation in Grant Olson. That means I'm doing weather. The news at 5, 6, and 10. 5, 6, and 10 also available on our YouTube page, our Facebook page, and our homepage right around 5 o'clock if that's the way you wish to consume your news. And get a hold of us if something out there demands our attention. You know what to do. Pick up the telephone, give us a call, or send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. You can also use our Facebook page and our homepage. When we come back, Mariners didn't quite sweep Toronto, but they had a pretty good weekend. And the Apple Sox are looking good. Sports in 2 minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
JDSA Law is a proud sponsor of these local event broadcasts. JDSA Law has been serving North Central and Eastern Washington since 1946. For over 70 years, their team of dedicated professionals has delivered quality, innovative legal services. JDSA Law partners with you to provide the finest legal advice and support as you navigate your personal and business challenges, your risks, and your accomplishments. JDSA Law supports the TV broadcasts of these local community events. When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
19 minutes after the hour, the Mariners taking 2 of 3 from Toronto over the weekend, but the Blue Jays did salvage the last game. Yesterday, the final was 4-3. A lot of Canadian fans there. They always flock to T-Mobile Park. In fact, there were probably more Blue Jay fans there than Mariner fans. But it was a very playoff-like atmosphere. Yesterday's finale, much like the first 2 games, both teams trading leads and the game coming down to the final out.
Ford, this is another one cranked out, and the windows take damage again from Mike Ford. It's a 2-run home run. The Mariners are in front early. 108 off the bat, 407 feet, and it's just a fastball middle of the plate, 94 miles an hour. Thought that Mariners were going to see some mistakes, and that was a mistake. And Mike Ford off the glass give them Mariners that early lead.
Now he sends this one towards the right field corner, and it's gone. Just enough to get it out of here, and that'll tie the game.
Well, Vladdy had a good idea what he was going to get as that ball was away from him, and he stayed on it. Boy, oh boy, and that's a real positive sign from Guerrero, hitting the ball with authority to the opposite field.
And a fly ball to right. Hernandez back on the track at the wall, jumps, and it's off his glove and gone. Brandon Belt gets just enough of it to hit it out of here and give the Blue Jays the lead.
Well, he homered in yesterday's game, and he comes right back and hits another homer here this afternoon to give the Jays the lead, as Dan mentioned. He got to that pitch. It was a little bit lower. It was a fastball, and Teoscar gets a glove on it, but it goes off his glove out of the ballpark for a home run.
Ground ball through the right side. Cal Raleigh's on his way home. Dylan Moore, pinch hit, game tying RBI single to right field. And this game is even at 3.
This one bounced to the left side and off the glove of Crawford and into the outfield. Merrifield's on his way home and will score. Boy, these feel like playoff games, don't they?
Yeah, and of course these 2 teams met last year in a wild card series, and now everybody in the ballpark's on their feet.
The set by Romano. And the pitch. And a fly ball to left field. Going back, Merrifield makes the catch, and the Blue Jays will win it. They hang on by the narrowest of margins here in the final game of the series and take the finale by a score of 4-3.
Despite Brian Wu taking the loss, his record falls to 1-3. Manager Scott Service says Brian Wu is a good pitcher, had a good outing, and he's happy that the Mariners took 2 of 3.
That was a heck of a series. Every game, right down to the final pitch, our guys really competed their tail off. But Brian Wu was outstanding today. Did exactly what we needed to get deep in the ball game with our bullpen a little bit short, but awesome job. Was in control. Great, the 4-seam fastball, the 2-seamer. He got the cutter going a little bit. Really, really outstanding, and hopefully continues to move forward. Big confidence boost for him pitching in that environment here at home. So, bullpen guys after him did a good job, give us a chance. Not a lot of offense in the game today. The pitching was really good. You're hoping that we create an opportunity there late in the game, and we did. We've been getting those big knocks here recently, and just not quite enough today. So again, awesome series. I think our guys played their tail off. Couldn't ask for anything more from our group. You're hoping to, like I said, get a little bit more magic there at the end. Just didn't happen today. So go out on the road trip. I think, overall, the homestand, started off a little rough. Love the way we're playing right now. Just the energy, the competitiveness that we have, knowing that we're not going to quit. We're in every game, and, you're seeing that with the effort our guys are giving. So.
Cal Raleigh had a pretty good game, too. He went 1 for 3 with a couple of runs. Seattle heads to Minnesota today to start off a series against the Twins. First pitch 4:40 on Root Sports Northwest. All right, to the scoreboard we go from Les Schwab. Texas salvaged the finale of their 3-game series with the Dodgers, come out on top 8-4. Former Mariner Brad Miller led the Rangers. He went 2 for 3 with a couple of runs. Houston takes 2 of 3 from Oakland, including Sunday's 3-1 victory. Yanyer Diaz and Marquero Dubon each homered for the Astros. Andrew Velasquez and Luis Renfillo each homered for the Angels in a 4-run 5th inning. LA beats Pittsburgh 7-5. LA was also winning 2 of 3 over the weekend. So the standings: Texas leads Houston by 3 games in the American League West. The Angels 8 games back, settle 8.5 games out of first place heading into Minnesota. The Apple Sox scored in the double digits for the second straight day yesterday. They complete the 3-game sweep at Nanaimo. The final 11-7. Wenatchee jumped out to an early lead Sunday, scored 2 runs in the first inning, then the crooked numbers in the 5th, the 7th, and the 8th. Before it was all said and done, we get more from our good friend, Stormin' Joel Norman.
The Wenatchee Apple Sox earned their 7th sweep of the 2023 season as they took all 3 games against the Nanaimo Night Owls this past weekend at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Josh Williams drove in 3 runs, including hitting his 5th home run of the season on Friday. And then on Saturday, Wenatchee trailed by a 5-1 score after an inning and a half, but rallied back to pick up that win, including breaking a 5-5 tie with a 5-run bottom of the 5th inning. On Sunday, Wenatchee never trailed, but in the middle innings, it got a little bit interesting a couple of times. But Nick Putnam led the way with a 3-for-4 effort as he drove in 2 runs. Frankie Carney also drove in a pair and scored twice as the Apple Sox stretched their winning streak to a season-best matching 6, while also tying a franchise record with their 11th consecutive home victory in West Coast League action. Wenatchee has not lost at home in the month of July and looks to continue that as they host the Bellingham Bells on Tuesday night after an off day at 6:35 p.m. on a $2 off Tuesday. With your Apple Sox update, I'm Joel Norman.
Thanks, Joel. Quincy Vassar got the start, but it was Trey Howe who worked an inning and 2/3 of relief to get his first win of the summer. As Joel mentioned, Wenatchee's back at it with the first of 3 games against Bellingham tomorrow night at 6:35 at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. To the scoreboard we go in the West Coast League. They didn't get to play baseball yesterday in Kamloops because of smoke, poor air quality in the Kamloops area. The Bells had taken the first 2 games of the series prior to yesterday's cancellation. Other scores from yesterday: Edmonton knocked off Cowlitz 6-0. Kelowna over Port Angeles 5-1. Corvallis knocked off Walla Walla by a run. Portland gets by Bend. In non-league games, Victoria over Coquitlam, and Ridgefield knocked off the Northwest Star Academy. So your standings looking good. Wenatchee emerges from the weekend with a 2-game lead on Victoria in the North Division standings in the second half. Kelowna climbed to 2nd place with a tie with Victoria. Bellingham comes into Wenatchee 5.5 games behind the Apple Sox. They're 6-8 in the second half. Of course, the Bells already punched their ticket to the postseason. They won the first half title, and we will be there tomorrow night. First of 2 broadcasts this week as the Apple Sox host the Bells. Eric Granstrom and Brandon Schmidt with the call. Pre-game beginning at 6:30. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. At 27 minutes after the hour, I debated whether to do this obscure holiday today. July 24th, of course, is a holiday. There's no government offices today. Banks are closed because it's National Tequila Day. Can't do it. Can't do tequila. I don't care if it's 30% alcohol. I don't care if it's 50% alcohol. It just doesn't do it for me. Now, if you're in a hurry to get where you need to go, tequila is fine. By the way, the price of tequila has like doubled in the last 10 years because the agave plant down in Mexico has got some problems, and that's where tequila comes from. And in order to be called officially tequila, it has to be grown in certain parts of Mexico. You can't put tequila on the label, and I'm kind of glad that tequila has gotten really expensive. It gives me even more excuse not to buy it. Happy National Tequila Day. Let's move forward, Uriah. At 28 minutes after the hour. A ship is not supposed to sink when it's tied to the dock in Chicago on this date in 1915, 108 years ago today. The passenger steamship, the SS Eastland, capsizes while tied to the dock in 20 feet of water, 20 feet off the shore, as we show you some of the footage of this unbelievable disaster. The Eastland, 10 years before it capsized, it had been retrofitted with additional machinery, which they put on top, and air conditioning, which they put on top. And then after the Titanic disaster, every ship was retrofitted with enough lifeboats for the passengers. That was all put on top. So the steamship was very, very unstable. It was top heavy. Well, the passengers were getting on board, and they all went to the port side of the ship. Others went below deck. The crew attempted to correct the list as it began to slide farther and farther sideways. They added ballast to the other side, but more people boarded. The list became extreme. The ship rolled over on its side, again, in 20 feet of water tied to the dock. The passengers and crew inside the ship either drowned or were crushed by the furniture and bookcases down below. 844 passengers and crew are killed. It was the largest loss of life in a single shipwreck in the history of the Great Lakes, and it was tied to the dock. Happened on this date in Chicago in 1915. For Richard Nixon, it was all but over. 49 years ago today, the Supreme Court rules unanimously 8-0. William Rehnquist did not participate. He couldn't. That Richard Nixon had to turn over the tapes to the special prosecutor, and Nixon knew what was on the tapes. Basically, it was him and John Dean and Ehrlichman and Haldeman talking about how to cover up the Watergate burglary. And for Richard Nixon, it was all but over. Within 2 weeks, he was gone. The Supreme Court says, sorry, Richard, you got to turn him over. The tapes are subpoenaed. You get no executive privilege. It's just like any other person. The beginning of the end for Richard Nixon. The utter travesty that was the movie Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band was released on this date in 1978, starring the Bee Gees, Peter Frampton, George Burns, who apparently needed the money, Steve Martin, who was out to lunch. I don't know what the hell Steve was thinking. Alice Cooper's in the movie, Earth, Wind and Fire, Aerosmith. Apparently, the special effects crew was working with 2 tons of dry ice and some Scotch tape. The movie has no plot. It's a complete and utter disaster. And the Bee Gees were the hottest thing in the world in 1978. And then this massive waste of film was thrust upon the American public. If you have 2 hours to kill and you have somebody you don't like, invite them over and watch the movie Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. It hit theaters on this date 45 years ago today, and I still want my money back. And to the Pine Tar game. We go Yankee Stadium. I flew back from New York the day before this game, or I could have gone. The Royals and the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. It is the top of the 9th inning. George Brett crushes a Goose Gossage home run deep into the Yankee Stadium stands, and that puts the Royals up 4-3. UL Washington scoring ahead. There's UL George Brett. And that puts the Royals in the lead, 4-3 in the top of the 9th inning. No big deal, right? Well, this goes back a few months when Yankee third baseman Greg Nettles noticed that George Brett had a lot of pine tar on his bat. The rule is Rule 110, subsection C, which states, and I'm quoting now, the bat handle for not more than 18 inches from its end may be covered or treated with any material or substance to improve the grip. But that's it. You can't go more than 18 inches. And they noticed this in George Brett's bat a number of weeks earlier, and Billy Martin kept that information in his pocket. He says, if and when he gets a critical hit in a critical series, we're going to call him out on that. So George Brett goes and sits in the dugout, and Billy Martin comes out and says, inspect his bat. Now remember, you can't have pine tar more than 18 inches past the handle. And he goes, I bet you this is more than 18 inches. George Brett sitting in the dugout. Afterwards, he said, you know, if Tim McClellan, the home plate umpire, calls me out, I'm going to kill him. Well, Brett did not account for the fact that Tim McClellan was 6'6" and 240 pounds. So the umpires inspect the bat. George Brett's going, what's going on here? What are they doing? Billy Martin says, I'll get away. The umpires go meet. They're going to inspect George Brett's bat. Okay, now the rule is 18 inches, but no more than 18 inches. If you go 18.5 inches, you're breaking the rule there. George Brett's bat, his pine tar was about 2 feet from the knob. There's no question it was past 18 inches, but they have to confirm this stuff. Billy Martin said, you know, there's a way you can measure it. Home plate is 17.5 inches wide, so all you have to do is lay it down. Of course, everybody else is going, what's going on here? I probably should have made this a little bit shorter, but they're gonna go measure the bat. And that seems to be the right thing to do. There's Billy. He's always got something going on. Knowing that home plate is 17.5 inches wide, Tim McClellan, the home plate umpire, says, I'll just measure the handle of the bat, and we know if it goes past 18 inches, we got pretty good proof of that, so we'll just lay it down there. And it's pretty obvious as you look that, yeah, there's a lot of pine tar farther up the bat. Now, you got to remember that George Brett just crushed this pitch. He just crushed it. Pine tar had nothing to do with it, but the rule is the rule. They talk, George, you're out. And, well, here comes George. In one of the great, crazinesses of history, George just kind of goes absolutely nuts. By the way, during the confusion when all this is going on, Gaylord Perry, who pitching for the Royals, tried to steal the bat, but a guard prevented him from confiscating the evidence. They threw out Gaylord Perry as well. Gaylord went and stole the bat, but the guard came and got him. Later on, the president of the American League, Lee McPhail, ruled that, in fact, George Brett did indeed break Rule 1.10, subsection C, but the home run should stand. There's Gaylord Perry trying to steal the bat. He said that the pine tar had nothing to do with the home run, and he said the game will continue with the Royals leading 4-3. Anyway, we don't need to roll the rest of it. We'll roll the rest of it when they go back to work to finish the game up. The pine tar incident, part 1 of this, was on this date, and at 35 minutes after the hour, birthdays. Amelia Earhart, born in the state in 1897, declared legally dead on January 5th, 1939. We know that she probably disappeared in 1937 at the age of 39. Of course, the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. She was attempting to fly around the world when she disappeared. In the summer of 1937, Amelia Earhart, born in the state in 1897. The mailman, Karl Malone, one of the greatest basketball players ever, 2 times an MVP, 14 times an All-Star. He is now 3rd all-time in the NBA scoring list behind Wilt Chamberlain and LeBron James. The most free throws ever, and he's in the Hall of Fame. Class of 2010. Happy birthday to the mailman. He's 60. 2 incredibly talented women. Kristen Chenoweth is 55. She can sing, she can dance, she can act in theater, in film, in television, and music. She is 55 years old today. Jennifer Lopez can sing, she can dance, she can write songs, she can act. She's been in theater, in film, in television. J-Lo is 54 years old today. And Elizabeth Moss, to my knowledge, can't sing or dance, but she sure can act. The West Wing, The Handmaid's Tale, and Mad Men, Elizabeth Moss is 41. Going to take a break. When we return, Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and we're going fishing. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel. Hi everybody, Dan Kuntz alongside Jesse Coble from Alpine Air. My heat pump there's like steam coming out of it. It's making weird noises. Is this something I need to be concerned about?
No, Dan, that's normal operation. Refrigeration technology steals heat from the outside, transfers it to the inside, and it creates frost on your heat pump. The defrost cycle melts that off, which creates steam and a little bit of noise.
That makes sense. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you.
The Clearwater Saloon and Casino has the best Vegas-style games in East Wenatchee. Come enjoy yourself and discover the nightly action. Win big and meet new friends at the Clearwater Saloon and Casino.
This summer, Abby's Legendary Pizza is helping stretch your hard-earned money. Our giant pizza is loaded with so many toppings that it usually feeds 4 to 6 people. Plus, join our e-club for special discounts for our favorite customers. At Abby's, we treat you like family. Abby's knows what our customers like, and it's not pear and arugula. That's why we're offering a special price on this pizza loaded with 2 of your favorite meat toppings, Canadian bacon and beef. And if you want, we'll add some delicious fresh summer tomatoes too. Order now at abbys.com.
Dear Mary Maids, just got home from a trade show and I didn't have time to pick up the house. Kids made chili. Jeff did a mud run. Oh, and Winston shredded Teddy's bed. Again, please clean it the best you can. Oh, except for the statue Max made for me. Thanks, Abby.
Hi, Abby. Clean kitchen, clean bath, clean floor, naughty cat. Poor Teddy. The statue is precious. You should keep it forever. See you next time, Mary Maids.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, Henry Kissinger, Richard Nixon's Secretary of State, once said that power is the greatest aphrodisiac. I see his point. There's no doubt that people are often attracted to and seduced by those in power, but power works another way as well. And those who have power, it makes those with power feel that they can act any way they want. We've seen it over and over again recently with those men high up in the entertainment industry who have used their power to sexually assault women. I'm gratified to see that these abused women are coming forward, being believed, and that their abusers are being held accountable. Because it's about time us men, powerful or otherwise, treated women with the respect and decency they deserve. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
So, how's Evan?
Well, he's all grown up now, but I worry about him.
So many dangers in the world. COVID, the environment, the opioid epidemic.
Yeah, I hear opioid misuse is on the rise.
I don't even know how to start a conversation with him.
This might help. GetTheFactsRx.com. There's a whole section on how to talk about opioids with your family.
Offer support, not judgment. Cool.
Talk to your family about the dangers of opioids. Visit GetTheFactsRx.com.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
The agents of Kennedy Real Estate Group are committed to providing the ideal client experience. We believe in the power of relationships. Why? Because we don't just work here, we live here. From the nonprofits we serve, the parks where we play, and the local businesses we support, our team understands the value of living in the Wenatchee Valley. Let's begin your real estate story.
Caught in a conflict? Family, workplace, neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Well, if you've ever heard the term Brewster Pool when it comes to the fishing season in the summertime, what's actually the Brewster Pool is the Upper Columbia, which is just outside of Brewster, so it's kind of the Brewster area, and this area tends to be very slack water as far as the Columbia is concerned, so it's kind of a pool, so that's why they call it the Brewster Pool. Now, what is happening here in the summertime is the return of sockeye. Now, last year they had predicted that the run was only going to be about 200,000 fish. Turned out to be over 600,000 fish. It was one of the biggest runs in recorded history since they put the dams in here in the Brewster Pool. Now this year the run is about the 200,000 level, and it's so far materializing, and the fishing has been pretty good up here. Now what does this mean for the communities? Well, it's huge for the town of Brewster and for Pateros and for North Central Washington, because there, as you can see, and we've got footage of all the people that are here that flock here from around the states, around the Northwest, and sometimes around the country to come here and to try to catch a salmon. Now sockeye is the well, salmon of choice because it's fantastic table fare, but also they'll be trying out for summer kings here in this area of the Columbia River as well. There are a ton of guides here, and today with the NCW Life Channel we get a chance to talk to Wade Giesbrecht, who is with Fish Intimidators. They're out of the Tri-Cities, but as you find with a lot of the guides, they'll go anywhere the fish are and where they can find people that want to come pay and go fishing. So we'll find out more about this fishery here today on the NCW Life Channel.
If you hire a guide, it'll be an early morning. They'll most likely ask you to meet at the launch in Brewster at 4 a.m. Even though it's summer, wear layered clothes because it's chilly on the ride out to the fishing grounds. Pack some food and something to drink, sunglasses, and sunscreen. You'll also need your fishing license and a salmon catch record card. The guide will provide all the gear and the bait. This is a great fishery for families and a perfect way to introduce kids to fishing. Guides will instruct you on how to work the rods and how to put the baits and lures in the water. Once a fish bites, they'll also tell you where to stand in the boat and how to reel it in. Now be sure to listen carefully because sockeye are easily lost.
Nice and tight. Reel
down to the weight again. Step up to the edge of the boat.
There you go. There you go.
Lift.
There we go, son.
Yeah.
It's on the board.
About time. I missed two with the net already this morning.
Nice job. The fishery in Brewster is a madhouse with lots of boats and sometimes tight quarters. That's why it's great to pay a guide to navigate the fishing grounds than having the stress of operating your own boat, trying to keep from running into someone or getting your lines all tied up with someone else.
Well, I'm Fish Intimidators. My name's Wade, and we're out here in the Brewster Pool attempting to navigate the traffic and catch sockeye. And we have some in the bucket. Cover up some of them and show you the good ones.
There we go.
There is some dinks out here.
How's the season been so far, Wade?
For the most part, if we can get them pretty good in the morning, then we're doing pretty decent. But if we miss this morning bite, it can get pretty tough later in the morning.
So tell me about your company. Tell me about what you guys do.
So we've been guiding for, well, we started in 2015, and we guide mostly eastern Washington. We'll go all the way down to Drano Lake. We prefer to do salmon and sturgeon, walleye. We fish potholes and most of the rivers, so pretty much cover it.
You say we?
Me and Dustin.
Okay. You guys have two boats then, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
So my boat here, we'll do 6 in this boat. Dustin will do 4 in his. His is the same style of boat, just a little shorter.
Okay. So what's your approach for doing the sockeye here?
So we are running dodgers and shrimp, just like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Smile blade, shaker wing. We got some metal blades, pinks, orange.
Okay. Does it change from day to day that you found? Or
yeah, it seems like some days, you know, this will be the hot rod, and
right.
I pretty much run the same thing every day.
Right.
All over the weight and lift. Well, we got that.
Almost got you.
Such as it is.
Hey, what do you guys say about this experience?
Fantastic. No better way to spend a morning.
And how about this guide this morning?
Awesome. Just spot on. We're killing them.
Talk about the net.
There he is.
Fish.
Okay, got that one. Okay, so just got one.
And this is why you carry 2 nets from the sock.
Oh, nice fish, Sol.
Been hooked in the side.
It's our first double of the day. Actually, we had another double earlier, but I lost mine. Nice hawk.
Woohoo!
Nice.
Good job.
Beauty.
All the way to the weight lift.
That's a big one there. Yeah.
See that? See that? That's beside you.
Okay, we're talking about terminal tackle, so we got one in hand weight. Tell us about what you use.
This one here has been a pretty hot one this morning. If we can get it to where we can see it. Oops. Pink, just a pink metal blade. Not sure what size it is, but it does work. 4 pink beads, size 2 hooks. Up to the Dodger, about a 12 to 14 inch leader.
Okay.
About a
And then what size
24-inch
dropper ball are you using on this?
That one is a 5 ounce. We're running it at 25 feet this morning.
Okay, all right.
So they're
and
not.
You change up the size of your weight based on where the rod is on the boat?
Correct. I run 6 in the front, 5 in the middle, and 4 out the back.
Okay. Now, I see you've got a jar of shrimp here,
Yep.
and I see some baits that are, or some scents that are back here. Do you have a particular concoction that you like to do, or you like to set these up like a day before, a couple of days before? What do you do?
In that little container there, I have not got it out yet because it seems like the unscented stuff has been doing better.
Oh,
early,
okay.
But we'll be getting it out here soon.
Okay.
I have Slam & Sam's Triple X in there.
Gotcha.
And I will run, I like all of the products that Shane puts together.
Right.
Gray Bills.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Northwest Bait and Scent.
Well,
that's Zilla bait in the jar.
Okay.
That's a lamprey bite or something. Oh, that's filling up nicely. Look at that.
Well, and talk about these fish, because there might be some people that they kind of get a little, they're thinking, oh man, these fish have swam a long way and they can't be any good when they get up here.
So they got some pretty good genetics. We'll show you later when we cut them open, but
yeah,
they're some of the best you can get in this river. I won't put them above springers, but yeah, they're right there.
Pretty good. That's pretty good. Well, and also, I mean, they're a long way from being home.
Yeah,
here, right?
yeah, we're a long ways up here. I don't know the miles. Don't ask me that. I know I don't want to drive it in a day.
Yeah, definitely so. So you guys are based, is it Tri-Cities kind of home base, or what's home for you guys?
We're right in north of Tri-Cities, so
okay.
Othello.
Okay. But like you say, you go all over eastern Washington.
Yep.
Up and down the Columbia.
We go to camper, so we will travel for fish.
Okay, I like that. If you're lucky, at the end of the day, you'll take home some of the best table fare there is, sockeye salmon. There's also king salmon in the Brewster Pool, so ask your guide if you'd like to try for them as well.
You can see that. Hey, Tyler, I own every fish.
Well, there we go. Nothing like a little sockeye fishing here in the early morning on the Brewster Pool.
I'm only giving you.
There we go. That's what we're looking for here in Brewster.
Frickin' gills.
Well, I'll tell you what, this was a lot of fun. It was fast and furious. And now, fishing is fishing. They call it fishing, not catching. You're not always guaranteed, but when you come over here to Brewster this time of year, the fishing's pretty good.
You should at least catch a fish.
Yeah. Yes. And believe me, I have one person that's probably watching this that has never caught a fish before. And so I owe her a chance to do that. The big question, Wade, for you, I know you're based kind of out of the Tri-Cities, but of course you're up here right now. As the salmon fishing's going, you're here. You've got 2 boats available here. If people want to hire you and go out and try to do what we did here this morning, how do they do that?
Well, they can get a hold of me at 509-750-6809, and our website is fishthecolumbia.com. And we're on Facebook too, so just search Fish Intimidators and you should find us.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've had a great time here today. I was glad to get my sister and soon-to-be brother-in-law out here on the water as well. And if you have the opportunity, if you have a day, if you have a morning, well, we were lucky enough to do this in about 3 hours this morning, so that's not too bad. 4 fish per person for the time being. That limit could go up, and we also have the Brewster Salmon Derby coming up right around the corner as well. Brewster's the place to be for the Brewster Pool and this fishery that's going on right now, so give yourself that opportunity and give yourself the gift of fishing. I'm Eric Granstrom on the NCW Life Channel.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee provides financial services for independent-minded clients working to secure their futures. Whether it's helping construct your personal financial, retirement, or estate plan, they start with a disciplined approach and straightforward advice. An individualized approach is rooted in the values, stability, and strength their company was founded on in 1935. With offices coast to coast and personal attention you deserve right here in the Wenatchee Valley, learn more about D.A. Davidson.
Hey there, folks. Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to experience Blueberry Hills. Of course, the food is fabulous, like our cheese blintz, our famous French dip, our legendary Eggs Benedict, and unforgettable burgers. But we're more than just great food. People come from all over the world to experience what's been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
Whether you're just dipping your feet or plunging right in, boating with a Sylvan pontoon boat is the way to go at Bob File Boats and Motors. Sylvan pontoon boats offer performance, reliability, and stability to take you, your family, and friends to the water in style. Sylvan pontoon boats have a wide variety of styles and layouts to suit your needs. See the full line of Sylvan pontoon boats at Bob File Boats and Motors on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee or online at bobfile.com.
All right, getting ready to wrap up this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. 73 degrees here in the big city, but the wind is already beginning to pick up in intensity. Winds out of the northwest at 16 miles an hour. As this day progresses, the winds will be getting stronger and stronger. I think we can call it breezy right now. It's going to be downright windy by the time we get this afternoon. And you also noticed a few clouds begin to roll in as we had a long stretch of sunny and hot weather. That's going to be interrupted for about 2.5 days before the sunny and hot weather returns again. And when you have the combination of bone dry conditions, we're talking about relative humidity in the teens, especially in the afternoon hours, fairly warm temperatures and very strong winds, and of course the hills are as bone dry as they can be. That means some critical fire conditions exist for the next 72 hours or so. In fact, there's a red flag warning for almost all of eastern Washington. Now, even though it doesn't include the Wenatchee Valley, as you can see, we're just to the left of that big pink blotch. It's still, I think we can safely say we're right in the, it's a possibility here as well. It is that recipe. Any fires that get going could really take off. So it's going to be an active fire weather day, a cold front, pretty robust cold front. But it's going to bring in widespread windy and dry conditions as we go through the day today. The wind will be increasing in intensity. This afternoon, late this afternoon, we're talking gusts near 40 miles an hour. Not just for the Wenatchee Valley, but out in the Columbia Basin, up in the Okanagan Valley. And by the way, there's also the possibility of some blowing dust out in the Columbia Basin as it kind of picks up that soil and takes it off. And of course, relative humidity is going to be really bone dry. From the National Weather Service, it looks something like this. After a high of 94 on Sunday, we're going to be about 10 degrees cooler than that, but still plenty warm. Our normal high is about 90. And of course, the big story today is going to be the wind. This morning, about 11 to 16 miles an hour. It's 16 miles an hour right now. This afternoon, sustained winds will be above 20 miles an hour. And as I mentioned before, gusts about 40 miles an hour. And again, you'll start seeing the clouds roll in. That means a few clouds tonight, still breezy, 58 for the overnight low, just the slightest chance of some light showers. We need some big time rain. We haven't gotten any of that. Wind will be dying down a little bit, and then it picks back up on Tuesday as the pressure gradients are going to tighten. We'll get up to about 80, 81 right around there. Still breezy, not quite as windy tomorrow as today, and then the winds really start dying down on Wednesday, and then we get hot again. Big dome of high pressure is going to start moving in Wednesday into Thursday. We go right back to sunny and hot conditions. That's it for us. Good to be back. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Live It Up, the show where we explore and discuss how to take your life to that next level and beyond. We cover health, wealth, relationships, and how to create a life that feels good, because that's what we all ultimately want. We want to feel good. I'm your host and coach, Fletcher Ellingson. Today on the show, we are visiting with local entrepreneur and all-around cool guy that I've had the privilege of getting to know over this past year, Matthew Lambright. Now, here's a guy who has gone deep into the entrepreneur's